So now let us start with instances of equitable and just and equitable grounds. There are certain instances of just and equitable grounds on the basis of which the court has resolved the companies. They are first, loss of substractum. It has been held it would be just and equitable to wind up a company where the substractum or main object is gone. The substractum is held to be gone when the main object for which the company was formed has become impracticable. In the various court cases, it has been held that the substratum of the company is deemed to have gone when it reveals that the company was formed for the purpose of fraud. There was a complete deadlock. The articles provided for winding up in the event which had happened. The existing and the possible assets are insufficient to meet the existing liabilities of the company. So firstly, when the main clause, that is whatever the business was formed for, if that is gone, so in that case there is a loss, and hence there shall be the company shall be into a winding up process. Then next, further, in short, if in the various court cases, it has been held that substratum of a company is deemed to gone when it reveals that the company was formed for the purpose of fraud. There was a complete deadlock. The articles provided for a winding up in the event which had happened. The existing and the possible assets are insufficient to meet the existing liabilities of the company. In short, if a company cannot achieve any of its main objects, its substratum is gone and such a company will be wound up. Sometimes it becomes very clear that a company has lost its ability to achieve its main object. Example, if it fails to obtain a patent for an invention which it was formed to exploit on the assumption that the patent would be granted. So this is a small example in which in case the company shall get wound up. Then next we have deadlock in management. Now what do you mean by deadlock in management? When there is a deadlock of permanent nature in the management of a company, the court is justified to wind up a company on the ground of just and equitable clause. A deadlock is said to have occurred when the company has two directors, one of who who are its only shareholders and who hold an equal number of voting shares if they disagree on major questions in respect of the management of the company. Formation of a company for illegal or fraudulent objects. If a particular company's objects are illegal, are fraudulent, or if they become illegal by a change in law, the court would order the company to be wound up under the just and equitable clause. So, in case a company is formed on illegal terms, or if the company becomes illegal, or if the object of the company is fraudulent, in that case it can be wound up. Where the company was formed with a view to conduct a lottery, the court ordered for the winding up for the object of the company was illegal. It should be noted that for winding up on this ground, fraud in the prospectus or in the manner of conducting company's business is not sufficient. It must be proved that the original object of creating the company was illegal or fraudulent. Operation of a minority, where the majority shareholders have adopted an aggressive or oppressive policy towards the minority, it will be just an equitable ground for the court to order the winding up of a company. Next is bubble company. A company which has no real business is called a bubble company. Such companies are also termed as fly-by-night companies. Such a bubble company not having any resources to commence business may be ordered to be wound up. So these bubble companies, such companies are generally not found much in India, but outside India such companies have a value. Then next we have private company analogous to partnership. A private company which is constituted by one or more families or friends is in reality like a partnership. Though legally has a corporate form, the court can order its winding up in the similar circumstances as it would order the dissolution of a partnership. Example, misconduct of one or more patents on the ground that it is just and equitable to do so. Public interest. The court may order winding up of a company in public interest, section 241 of the Act, that is prevention of operation and mismanagement. While winding up of a company by the tribunal has to take into consideration not only the interests of the shareholders and creditors, but also public interest in the shape of need of the community interest of the employees, etc. Acts against sovereignty and integrity of India, section 271C. Tribunal can pass an order of winding up if the company has acted against the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India. The security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency, or morality. So, acts against the sovereignty. That is, in case a company is acting beyond the interest or sovereignty of India, in that case also it can be wound up. Then next, business of sick industrial company not viable in future, where it is difficult to implement the scheme of revival and rehabilitation due to any reason, or the scheme fails due to non-implementation of obligations under the scheme by the parties concerned, the company administrator authorized to implement the scheme, and where there is no such administrator, the secured creditors or the transferee company in a case of amalgamation may make an application before the tribunal for modification of the scheme, or to declare the scheme has failed and that the company has may be wound up. So here we can understand, in case a company is business is sick, that is they are not able to grow, or there are certain things which has stopped the growth of the industry. In that case also the company shall be wound up once the creditors are given their payment. Next is fraudulent conduct of company affairs in fraudulent manner. If on an application made by the registrar or any other person authorized by the central government by notification under this act, the tribunal is of the opinion that the affairs of the company have been conducted in a fraudulent manner, or the company was formed for fraudulent and unlawful purpose, or the person concerned in the formation or management of its affairs have been guilty of fraud, misoffense, or misconduct in connection therewith, and that is proper that the company be wound up. Voluntary winding up by the members. Now, in case there is a company has fraudulent manners, and the central government by notification can tell the tribunal to wind up such a company, because it is going to create a problem for the society. Voluntary winding up by members. By passing special resolution by members themselves, company may be wound up voluntarily. Voluntary winding up may also be done in this way. If the company in general meeting passes a resolution requiring a company to be wound up voluntarily as a result of their expiry of the period of its duration, if any fixed by its articles, or on the occurrence of any event in respect of which the articles provide that the company should be dissolved. So here there will be voluntarily winding up because the company is occurring frequently into losses, and a company there is an expiry of the period of its duration. So there will be voluntarily wind up by the members. Next, winding up by the tribunal if the scheme of compromise or arrangements not working. If scheme of compromise or arrangement sanctioned by the tribunal under section 236 of the act is not working satisfactorily with or without modifications, and the company is unable to pay its debt, in such circumstances the tribunal is empowered to pass an order of winding up under section 231 of the act. Such order shall be deemed to be order of winding up under section 273 of the act. So winding up or compromise or arrangements not working. In case if they had made arrangements by the tribunal but it is not working satisfactorily, and with all the modifications the company is still not working properly, in that case there shall be a voluntary winding up. Winding up by the central government. Winding up by central government under summary procedure is provided under the Act. New Act. Small companies with assets of book value less than rupees 1 crore and belonging to a specified class of companies can be wound up by order of central government by following summary procedure specified under sections 361 to 365 of the new Act of 2013. In this case, National Company Law Tribunal (NCLT) comes into picture. If fraud is committed or if the central government takes decision to refer the matter to NCLT. So winding up is done by the central government for small companies with assets less than rupees 1 crore and belonging to a specified class of companies can be wound up by order of central government. Next is removal of name of a company from the register. So even the companies can remove their name. How it can be done? Register of company is empowered to remove the name of a non-functioning company from the register under section 248 of this Act. This can be done if a company failed to commence its business within 1 year of its incorporation. The subscribers to the memorandum have not paid the subscription which they were supposed to pay within 180 days from the date of incorporation of a company. A company is not carrying on any business or operation for a period of two preceding financial year and has not made any application within such period for obtaining the status of a dormant company under section 445. So, removal of the name in case if a company has failed to commence its business, that is it has not started its business within 1 year, or if the memorandum have not paid the subscription and were supposed to pay within 180 days of the incorporation, or company not carrying on a business or the operations of the business are not working. So these are the reasons where the register can remove the name. Now next we have winding up of unregistered companies. An unregistered company or a foreign company can also be wound up under the provisions of Companies Act 2013. No unregistered company shall be wound up voluntarily. An unregistered company may be wound up under the following circumstances. The company is dissolved or has ceased to carry on business or is carrying on business only for the purpose of winding up its affairs. If the company is unable to pay its debt, if the tribunal is of the opinion that it is just and equitable that the company should be wound up. So, winding up of unregistered companies. Unregistered or foreign companies can be wound up and they can be wound up voluntarily, and the circumstances are if the company is dissolved or has ceased to carry on a business, or if it is unable to pay its debts, or it is of the opinion that it cannot carry forward its business. Power to wind up foreign companies, although dissolved as a body corporate, uh, a body corporate incorporated outside India which has been carrying on its business ceases to carry on business in India may be wound up as an unregistered company whether the body corporate has been dissolved or otherwise ceased to exist as per the law under which it was incorporated. So, power to wind up a foreign company, even if a company is foreign company, still if it is incorporated inside India, if it is formed or if it is unregistered in India, in that case it shall cease to exist. Creditors voluntary winding up. A creditor's voluntary winding up is a formal insolvency procedure which involves the directors of an insolvent company voluntarily choosing to bring their business to an end and wind up the company. A creditor's voluntary winding up is the winding up of a company by a special resolution of the shareholders under the scrutiny of the company creditors. This occurs when the company is insolvent. If the director of a company is unable to provide a declaration of insolvency, the company can proceed with the creditors winding up. So creditors voluntary winding up means what? It is a formal insolvency procedure, that is, which involves directors insolvent and company becoming voluntarily chosen to be wound up. Now next we have petition for winding up. An application to the court. Now how do we file a petition for winding up? An application to the court for winding up of a company shall be by petition presented by the company or by any creditors or creditors including any contingent or prospective creditors or creditor or by any contributory or contributories or by any combination of creditors, company or contributories acting jointly or separately, or by the register or any person authorized by the central government as per section 243, especially when the business is being conducted with the intention to fraud its creditors, members, or for unlawful purpose, or for the persons involved in the management of the company are guilty of fraud or misoffense or misconduct towards a contemplated under section 237 B 1 and 2 or by the central government or state government when the company acts against sovereignty and integrity of India. A secured creditor, the holder of any debentures, whether or not any trustee or trustees have been appointed in respect of such and other like debentures, and the trustee for the holders of debentures shall be deemed to be creditors within the meaning of section 271(1)(b). A contributory shall be entitled to present a petition for the winding up of a company, notwithstanding that he may be the holder of fully paid up shares, or that company may have no assets at all, or may have no surplus assets left for distribution among the shareholders after the satisfaction of its liabilities and shares in respect of which he is a contributory, or some of them were either originally allotted to him or have been held by him and registered in his name for at least 6 months during the 18 months immediately before the commencement of the winding up, or have devolved on him through the death of a former holder. The registrar shall be entitled to present a petition for winding up under this section 272(1) on any of the grounds specified in this subsection, except on the grounds specified in clause B, clause D, or clause G of that subsection, provided that the registrar shall not present a petition on the ground that the company is unable to pay its debt, unless it appears to him either from the financial condition of the company is deserved in its balance sheet, or from the report of an inspector appointed under section 2010 that the company is unable to pay its debt, provided further that the registrar shall obtain the previous sanction of the central government to the presentation of a petition, provided also that the central government shall not accord its sanction unless the company has been given a reasonable opportunity of seeking representation. A petition presented by the company for winding up before the tribunal shall be admitted only if accompanied by a statement of affairs in such form in such manner as may be prescribed. Before a petition for winding up of a company presented by a tribunal shall be obtained for the admission of the petition, and such leave shall not be granted unless the opinion of the tribunal share is prima facie case for the winding up of the company, and until such a security of our cause has been given as the tribunal thinks reasonable. A copy of the petition made under this section shall also be filled with the registrar, and the registrar shall, without prejudice to any other provision, submit his views to the tribunal within 60 days of receipt of petition. So this was about the how a petition is to be filed to the tribunal for winding up of the company. So with this we come to the end of our syllabus, and I hope you have understood and go through all the videos and go through the entire subject again thoroughly, so that you will get more clarity about the same.